Yo, what's going on, guys? Deadly Wolf here, back with another video. Today we are going to be reviewing the 6 out of 6 Veil set for Rogue. For the set itself, I do have Corrupteds and Radiance on every single piece, except for the artifact. I have the Vesper Stone on it for the extra damage and the primary stat. For the pendant, obviously it's not released, so we're still going to be using the SB pendant, and then we're going to be just using blood chakrams as a damage set. Now I'm going to do Hydra a couple times just to show you what it looks like versus my normal damage set, and then I will take it into Dune, and we'll run around with it in Dune for a little bit to show you how it looks as well when it comes to clearing mobs. Now I will just put this out here, the set isn't, I'm going to say it now, it's not really worth to get the 6 out of 6 set right now. Just because of obviously how expensive some pieces are versus how available some of the other pieces are. Obviously, at the time of recording, there's no bracelets or belts for Rogue in auction right now. There are rings, but they're like 200 mil, so I'd say give it about 2, 3, maybe even a month, and it should drop the prices for all 3 of those pieces. And then for the helmets and the armor, you're probably looking at about 60, 70 mil for both of those pieces, and then the artifacts have finally dropped below 100 mil, so you can definitely get the 3 out of 3 set for less than 200 mil now, which is pretty nice. But obviously, if you wait a little bit longer, the Veilblade artifact should drop even more, so you might even be able to get it for like the entire 3 out of 3 for maybe like 120, 150 mil, around there. But no, yeah, like I was saying, the set is pretty decent, but it's as of right now, it's not going to be worth just getting the pieces because of how expensive they are. The ring is definitely not worth 200 mil. Shit, it ain't even worth 70 mil. Bracelet and belt, they're definitely not worth more than 50 mil either. But the only good pieces from the Veilblade set proc wise is the helmet, armor, and artifact. So if you can get your hands on those, I would recommend getting those as soon as possible. But the other brand new 3 pieces, they're nice to have, but at the end of the day, like I said, not worth it. But if we're gonna go ahead and look into it. So the Veilblade ring, you get 15% movement speed on. I think on most of the Veilblade pieces, there is a 15% movement speed bonus for all base, so no procs needed for them. But you also get 3% lethality and 25 solar damage, and then for the artifact, 5% movement speed, 20 damage, 5 solar damage, and then bracelet, you're looking at 5% more movement speed, same stuff. And then belt, 5% crit damage, 15% movement speed, and then armor, you have the 20% solar resistance, and then the helmet, you got the 15% solar resistance, 17% boss damage. Again, Veilblade Assassin helmet's probably, I would say in my opinion, is probably the best piece out of the entire Veilblade set as of right now. And with it being the cheapest piece in the entire set right now, I would recommend everybody getting it, just because the procs from the actual helmet, I know I've went over it once before, but the procs with the helmet are super good, so I would just recommend trying to get it, although it is very unreliable. It's kind of like the blood artifact, it's not a guaranteed proc, or the SB pendant, so you know, trying to get it to proc's a bitch sometimes, but it's okay. As far as the awakes that I have on everything, if you guys didn't see it when I clicked on them, I got 4% dex on the ring, the artifact, armor, and helmet, and then I have 3% dex on the Veilblade bracelet and belt. So I don't have anything over 4% on any of the Veilblade items. The only pieces that I have over 4% on this entire set is the SB pendant, which is my 8%. I've had that for a while. And then as far as the Bloodstar chakrams go, y'all know that I rock the 17% blood chakrams, but even with this, you could probably sub out the Bloodstar chakrams with blood daggers. I mean, granted, you're going to drop a lot of damage, but you could do the blood daggers, you could do the blood bow. However you guys do your damage set, it's entirely up to you. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and do Hydra leaderboard. We're gonna run him a couple times, show you what it looks like damage wise. And as far as the proc, you can see that I have my damage reset to 0. And before we run in, I'll show you the pet that I'm using. Whoops, I just unfavorited him. Whoops. Arc Sap. So we're obviously going to be running Sap because he has that damage, 35% damage stacking for the 10 seconds with a 60% chance to proc it. And then for the happiness bonus, we're rocking Gourd Weaver. If you aren't familiar with Gourd Weaver, here's the abilities right here, but I show them in all my videos. And then the Arcane ability, we're using the Frostfire Egg. Now, in my opinion, the Frostfire Egg is a better pet than Siege Part as of right now, because the Siege Part and the Frostfire both have the 50% increased boss damage, except the Siege Part has it for 10 seconds and the Frostfire has it for 5 seconds. But the thing that makes the Frostfire so good is he has a 2x damage for 2 seconds. So basically, you just have to time it right. If you don't time the pet right, you're not going to do as much damage compared to the Siege Part. But if you do time it right, you're obviously going to be slamming through the actual, you're going to be slamming through their health bars pretty quick. And I've been using the Frostfire Egg for probably since it dropped pretty much, so about 2.5 weeks now. So it's still, I think it's pretty good. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you guys like the Frostfire Egg or not. But you don't need the heroic version because the legendary version also has that 2% damage increase, but it knocks the 50% damage increase to bosses down to 25% for the legendary one. But that was the free pet in the tier event, so it's still pretty good. For the evolution, we're obviously just running a haste trainer so we can attack a little bit faster. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Proc sets are the exact same as I do in all my videos, the SB, and then my blood with the immortal bracelet, and then the blood with, and then you can see that when I swap to it, damage set's pretty good. A little slow that time, but you can see that our damage, total damage, we do 1 bill, which is super good. The max DPS, you can see we're at about 760 million damage. But we'll go ahead and restart that, and you'll see when I'm procking the stuff, I'll stay on my proc set for a little bit and smack a couple times, but that's just because I'm trying to guarantee the actual proc with the, I'm trying to guarantee the proc with like the helmet and stuff. You can see I didn't swap my damage set, but with my even just on the proc set, you can see smack out 1 billion damage. A little bit less damage for the max DPS, but that's not too bad either. But we're gonna try to, I messed up the proc swap on that one, so try to re-go again. And then you can see that sometimes it doesn't want to proc, which is terrible. You can see sometimes, I've noticed a lot recently, whenever I try to dash into the boss or use my razor daggers, it doesn't pop my Cosmic Killer, which has been getting on my nerves a lot recently. I don't know why, but could be a ping thing, I don't know, but I've been noticing that's been happening a lot. But you can see, looks like we're consistently hitting over 1 bill damage, 1 bill for the actual boss itself. But you can see the max DPS does drop down a lot. Could also be because it took me so long to kill the boss there because my Cosmic Killer didn't proc and I had to swap back to it. But it's not too bad. But again, wait for him, and then pop the pet, pop the ability, swap to damage set, boom. You can see, it's very consistent, that's for sure. So, but you can see that all the stats that I got right now, this is for using the Veilblade Assassin set, like the 6 out of 6. And then I will swap it over to my main damage set and then show you what it looks like there. So we'll just run in, hit him, smack him a couple times, pop this, boom, and then swap the damage set. So again, you can see pretty much the exact same thing. Like the set isn't necessarily, the Veilblade set is still pretty decent, but that's just because of the actual set bonus that it gives you. It launches your stats up so high that it pretty much just stays with all the other stuff. But yeah, that was a terrible run, but you can see I definitely out DPS'd, and then the max damage goes down a lot. But like I said, is it going to be worth to get the Veilblade, the entire Veilblade set right now? No, because at the end of the day, most people already have all of the blood needed. They already have all the blood, so it's not going to be like really worth to get the entire set because of how expensive it is at the moment. So if you just swap out the 3, you can see again damage set's pretty normal. But 3 out of 3 blood, you'll be just fine. Or you don't even need the 3 out of 3 blood anymore. You just need the 3 out of 3 for the Veilblade, and then SB, and then your blood weapon and your immortal bracelet, and you'll be just fine. So we're gonna go ahead and show you what it looks like to, let's make a ghost party right here, and then reload. We're gonna show you what it looks like to run the Veilblade set in Dune. We're gonna go ahead and just tweak it a little bit. I was testing it out with the Bloodshot. Obviously that's gonna get you to max damage for like bosses and stuff like that, but what I've noticed is if you use blood daggers or if you use Kraken daggers, it works perfectly fine. So I'll show you what it looks like with the, I'm not gonna use any like swaps. We're gonna go ahead and just put it in for right here. The only thing I'm gonna do is pop Cosmic Killer and then just run through. You can see just popping the blood. And then obviously once all the Veil procs, you're gonna get that high solar damage. So you're pretty much just gonna walk through, everything while you're just fully procced up. So it's not crazy, but you know, it's something. But what I like to do is just run through, pop that, get Cosmic Killer, and then you can swap to your Veilblade set. And then while everything's procced, you just run through. But at the end of the day, like I said, is it going to be worth to get the entire set right now? No. And you guys know me, I like to review the gear. I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, this is the most OP set, you guys need it right now. No, this is not the case. I would just say hold out from getting it and call it a day. But yeah, it's pretty good, but not the best. Now, one thing I've also tested out with it is Kraken Claws. You guys can see with the Kraken Claws, I have 7% dex on it, and then plus 6 damage, and then I got no jewels on it. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the boss. Let me save it real quick as the Veil set, and then I'm gonna just do a Cosmic Killer, and then I'm gonna swap over to it, pop boss ability, because I assume most of you guys should have the boss ability, and then with the pet. So you pop that, swap over, pop boss ability, pop pet, and then you just ability spam him. And you can see just in one proc we kill the boss. It's not crazy fast, but I do think that the Kraken daggers are definitely a great viable weapon to use with the Veilblade set, like I've showed you guys in the past. But yeah, again, this is the Veilblade set. I hope that this was informational for you guys. Again, I'm not saying that it's going to be the best set in the world, and that you should get it right away, because that's definitely not the case. I don't recommend getting this entire set right away. Just give it like about a month or so, and all the prices for everything should drop. Maybe my opinion will change on it eventually once like the full set drops, so the pendant and then the weapons. But as of right now, I only think it's really worth to get the Veilblade helmet, armor, and artifact. And if you can't afford that, just the helmet will suffice for your procs and your damage increase and stuff like that. But again, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please consider hitting that like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And as always, if you guys have any questions or concerns, just let me know in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And as always, you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.